All right, it's afternoon, early afternoon, a little after 1. Thought we'd just take one quick look at Deuteronomy 6:4 and a number of other passages in the Old Testament that point to a plurality God with a singular verb. Maybe a God of more than one person who's referred to as a single entity. Top page here at the website. Let's go to D for Deuteronomy. Make it a little bigger here. Deuteronomy 6:4. D-E-U-T. Can I spell? Here it is. Deuteronomy 6:4. Translated, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." Take a look at this. The words that God inspired Moses to use, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God." God is Elohim, plural. And the Lord is a singular verb. And one, transliterated from the Hebrew to echad, one which is made up of parts, a composite. God is one, strange sounding. The writer Moses chose to use the Hebrew word echad equals one, which the Hebrew commentaries ignore and even change to yachid when they teach about this verse. Yet it appears in their manuscript scrolls when they read God's word as echad in the book of Deuteronomy. Moses chose to use the Hebrew word echad, which means one which is made up of parts, a composite, rather than the Hebrew word yachid, which means one, no parts, a single entity. Now we can take a look at a couple of other passages to corroborate. Genesis 2:24, echad, one flesh made up of husband and wife. 22:2 indicates the use of another Hebrew word for one, yachid, Abraham's one and only son of the promise. So, we have something that corroborates the Trinity, using the Hebrew word Elohim, which means gods in plural, rather than Eloah, which means God singular. So God is one God who's made up of a number of parts, i.e. personalities. And we can corroborate this further. Genesis 1:1, in the beginning God, Elohim, created. Created is bara, singular, but Elohim is plural. We're given a point here is being made. Genesis 1:26, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Elohim, plural. Singular verb in the Hebrew, us, let us, plural. But the word make is singular for the word plural, our. So in our image, according to our likeness. This could not refer to angels having the image of God and then making man in that image, as some objectors to the Trinity say, because it would then infer that angels have the image of God on an equal basis with the Almighty Eternal God, and even contribute in creation with Him as creators. So we have more corroboration here as we keep going. With a plurality God subject, but then a singular verb. Ecclesiastes 12:1, Psalm 149:2. Let us rejoice in its maker. Let Israel rejoice in its maker. And look at this, Psalm 30, Proverbs 30:4. Who has gone up to heaven and come down? Who has gathered up the wind in the hollow of his hands? Who has wrapped up the waters in his cloak? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? God the Father. And the name of his Son? God the Son. So in the Hebrew, the word who is literally translated, who are the holy ones who? Plural. So God the Father and God the Son have gone up to heaven and come down, gathered up the wind, wrapped up the waters, and established, created the ends of the earth. And there is only one Creator, God. Here right in the Old Testament, we find a clear statement that there is more than one personality in the Godhead. We have two personalities of the Godhead, which we specifically refer to God the Father and God the Son. Genesis 19:24. Then the Lord Yahweh commanded Jehovah God the Father to rain down burning sulfur. God is spoken of here as being in two places at once, this being no difficulty for God, who is omnipresent and omnipotent. Okay, I think we made enough point on this point. Sometimes grammar can be very clear.